All right, this is kind of an interesting topic, so I think it's best that I expand on it and maybe just talk it out instead of trying to type it out because there's just so much to say on this topic. Okay, so first things first. I'm just wondering if investing in silver makes sense. Yes, yes. How do I get value from it? All right, value. How do you define value? Well, value can be derived in lots of different ways. Is it going up? Is it preserving what I have now? Is it buying me a better life? Is it sustaining the life that I have now? Well, yes and no, and yes and no. Look at it this way. This is the way I like to describe silver. It's a complex issue. So let's look at it on the buying side. So let's look at it actually from the standpoint of what people are telling you why you want to invest in silver. Well, there's those folks that are like, oh, at some point in time, when everything goes to hell, you'll have all your silver and it'll be worth yada 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 per ounce, and you'll be able to go out and buy an acre of land for a silver coin. Okay, well, let's make the assumption that you can. Uh, here's the issue. Somebody is willing to trade for your silver because they need money. So there's going to be a problem with valuation on silver because first of all, there's not going to be a silver exchange. When things get really bad, there'll be no place you'll be able to just go look up the value of silver. So it's only worth what somebody's willing to give you. Now, let's step off that for a second. I'm going to have to cover a lot of topics at once, and I'll merge them all together here. Let's go to the crash of the dollar. When dollars, we've all seen the pictures of foreign currency laying in the streets and stuff like that. We could be getting there pretty soon ourselves. But um, let's be real about this. There's a lot of those people that went through that don't know nothing from silver, don't know nothing from gold. That's not their world. They don't know anything about it. All they know is dollars, 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 dollars. How come my dollar now makes me have to pay $80 for, something I used to pay 40 for? Or how come my candy bar now that used to cost me $1 cost me $10, or my can of beer that used to cost X now costs X times 10, uh, or my pack of cigarettes or whatever. That's all they know. And they don't know alternate currency. They don't know anything other than just the dollar. And eventually, when it gets to the point where they don't have enough of those dollars to get the things they want, then they're screwed. They just don't have any other way around it. Now, here you are, and I am buying silver and gold. And so we're like, okay, well, we're basically, as I've described this before, we're basically jumping off a falling elevator before it crashes to the ground. Are we making money? No, we're not making money. We're just preserving the money we got. In the purest sense, that's exactly what we're doing. Now, that being said, let's go back to the real estate thing. Uh, what is their real estate worth to a guy who can't afford a pack of cigarettes or diapers for baby or whatever? He'll take whatever he can get, and if dollars aren't worth shit, then he's like, okay, well, what's worth something else? Well, I've got silver, or maybe I've got a 50 gallon barrel worth of full of gas or something like that. So then you start to get into the bartering economy. So my personal belief is I think the barter economy is going to come in before metals actually do. Make no mistake about it that metals will have a place, but don't think for a single second. I want everybody who's listening to this video. I've been meaning to say this the last couple times. I've been kind of on a rant. I just get too much going on in my mind here. I just don't want to segment too much. But let's get it understood right now that you are not going to have silver and just be able to walk up to Joe Lunchbucket and go, hey, yo, Joe, I'll give you X number of silver coins for, whatever it is you have. Because, you're going to have to educate that guy. And frankly, there's going to be a lot of really crazy shit going on in this world. I don't think you want to be talking to strangers all that much. Uh, that needs to be said. So you're going to have to deal with a rational person who understands valuation that you can have a negotiation with over an exchange of silver. It's very important that you understand that. And I assure you, you will never hear anyone say it that way. But the truth of the matter is, let's imagine, it becomes Mad Max world out there. Are you going to walk around out in public with a pocket full of shekels, full of silver shekels, trying to trade with the average person who may have a gun, a knife, or whatever? Fuck no. Um, Pardon my language, but that's the truth. You're going to have a very secure person that you're going to deal with that you know and you have an established relationship with now to be able to have an exit plan for that silver, because make no mistake about it, or that gold, and make no mistake about it, you're not going to be dealing with the average person on silver. All right, so your question is where can I sell it back? I can't forecast for you if Andy's going to be around at that point in time. I'm sure he will. I mean, that's his life thing. That's what he's done all his life, Andy. And I've talked to Andy many times. I mean to get him on the show, but he's a very busy guy. Um, so you're going to have a network of people that understand metals and know where to go. I've got mine. And if you can't get anything done with those people, then basically your silver's not really going to be worth that much. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you're not prepared now by building your network, silver, you can have pallets of silver, and it's going to do you no good to the average person because the average person won't want it. Now that I painted a bad picture here, let's go back and kind of retrace through what's going on here. There's always people that understand silver, and there will be a few people that are still logical and feel still easy to deal with that might go, well, I can't get anything else. Maybe I'll trade him for silver or whatever. But in between that, and I've already briefly mentioned it, I think the barter economy is going to be larger and much more usable for you. So it's a tough conversation to have. What should I be having? Well, you should have crypto. Obviously this is a crypto group. We believe in crypto, but I cannot overstate that you have to have other things that people need. Guns and butter is kind of the way that I put it. I mean, it seems very strange that you would want to stockpile a whole bunch of bullets and stuff like that, but I think you do. And I think I've got a lot of cans of food. I've way overbought what Chase and I can possibly eat in 3 years because I know when food gets expensive, I got insane stacks of tuna cans. I'm talking insane stacks of tuna cans downstairs in my basement because I know there's going to be people that are going to be needing the protein, they're going to be needing the omega 3, they're going to be needing solid food that's not priced completely out of their or even available, and that's going to be tradable. It's going to be tradable. I've also, and I mentioned this a long, long, long time ago. My family, my family is. I come from a long line of bootleggers and distillers, and I'm Scotch Irish by descent, so we know how to make alcohol. Not only that, but I'm an engineer, so I know how to make alcohol. I've got a pallet of ball mason jars in my basement. People think I'm insane for that. I'm not. I'm not, because I know how to make whiskey. I know how to make vodka. I know how to make all that stuff. And I've taught Chase. We had a little father-son time where I sat and I showed him how to make whiskey and how to make vodka. And when things go to hell, people want to self-medicate, and so you darn right, I'll be able to trade a mason jar full of hooch for something maybe that I want. And so you have to understand who you're dealing with in the new economy, in the lack of the economy. You have to understand what is that other person, not what's good for you, but what's good for the other person. Because you might think you have it all figured out. Well, I've got a little bit of cash here. That's great. Cash is good because, again, to circle back on that, when cash loses value, there's going to be so many people walking around that don't understand any other medium of exchange other than cash. So cash will have value, even though cash, quote unquote, is worthless. Not everybody's going to get the memo. Follow what I'm saying? You must know that. You must remember that. You and I and everybody else in this group is a little more hip to what's coming than the average Joe. I don't want to spin off into a whole thing here, but I have a cousin back home. I've been watching his Facebook, and it's not good. Him and his wife split up, and she just came back, and they're reconciling, and so she's on an apology tour with him where she bought him a brand new Corvette, or she blessed him going out and buying a brand new Corvette, and they got an 80-inch television for their house, and they're remodeling their living room. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? These are the type of people that you're going to be dealing with. I mean, and despite the fact that he knows his cousin very well, and he knows that when I talk, he should be listening, he's not listening. And he doesn't believe he something about him just doesn't believe that America really can fall apart the way that it's about ready to. And so what's he going to have when everything does? Well, he's going to have a Corvette nobody wants. He's going to have an 80-inch television nobody wants, and he's going to be in bad shape. And there was a whole bunch of other stuff that she's been buying him. I think they bought a smoker, a food smoker or something like that, which that actually probably has a little bit of value to it. But there's a classic example of a person that is not cognizant of silver whatsoever. It has no place in his life. He wouldn't know what to do with it. But I can tell you, he's put away a few cans of beer in his life. Love my cousin, but I tell you what, my family is messed up. And I will tell you that, when he's sitting there with his Corvette that he can't put gas in, probably with no Netflix he can afford anymore, whatever, staring at a blank 80-inch television, he's gonna want something to do to forget about his problems. He'll probably trade me for some alcohol or something like that. God forbid, I don't want to take the Corvette off his hands because I hate Corvettes, but he's going to end up getting rid of that Corvette at a massive, massive loss. And so I'm kind of spinning off the core thing here, but what I'm talking about is he represents Joe Lunchbucket, and this is who you're dealing with. So don't get the idea that silver is going to be the be all say all savior. You need it. You definitely need it, because in the future, when we get through all this, and I can't really tell you as far as when that's going to be. It's we're looking at easily past 2025 before we get to a point where metals have a realistic price set for them, and we've finally got to the point where there just is no manipulation. There is no more playing around. We have to get past. If there's going to be another election, we have to get past that before we can even begin to have a serious discussion about the valuation of metals. So, but here's what I want to say. Just while I'm just kind of stream of consciousness talking here. Uh, you're going to have an in between cash, cryptos, metal. Okay, don't let me dissuade you from doing that. But there is a fourth thing that you have to have. You have to have tradable things that Joe Lunchbucket wants: food, bullets, survival stuff, tools. I talked about this a little bit. I did several different videos a while back where I talked about, I've bought way more crap since coming back from the Philippines than I thought I would ever buy. But I've got an impressive collection of cordless DeWalt tools. And it might seem like a ridiculous thing, but we're going to be in an economy, a fixer economy, where put two broken things together and make one working thing. My tools are going to be gold, baby, gold. Hey, have you got a drill? Yes, I've got a drill. Do you have a saw? Yes, I've got a saw. What about saw blades? What about drill bits? These are the things people don't think of. I mean, it would seem, and this is long range, mind you. This is probably a little bit longer video than I want to get into, but think in terms of usable stuff, things that get used up. Here's a good example. Just throwing ideas out here. Smoking is going to still be a problem. I mean, there's how many addicts out there, and ask Xmob. He sells cigarettes, individual cigarettes. You're not supposed to, but people they just come in and try to buy a cigarette from him, and he's got a heart. He sells them individual cigarettes. But what about the lighters? You can get on Amazon right now and buy a 50 case pack of lighters for like super, super cheap. That's a tradable item, and it doesn't seem like it, but that could sit down in your basement for years, waiting to be tradable. It's never going to go away. It doesn't cost you. I think they're like about a buck or 60 cents a lighter or something like that. But what's an instant lighter worth to someone that doesn't know how to rub two sticks together. You know what I'm saying? So these are the type of things that it involves a lot of creative thought. And I know a lot of you guys don't quite have the practice that I do for thinking like that. But to go back and say, from in a fixer economy, when we're just not getting anything made anymore by China, what's a case of or what's a pack of brand new saw blades or drill bits worth? They're priceless. They're priceless practically. Because if you need to drill a hole to fix something and there's just no drill bits or you can't find drill bits, what are you willing to pay for that? A lot. I've been in that case many, many times when I need a drill bit. I mean, I'll drive clear across town and sacrifice half my day trying to find something that I need like that. So I already know what it's like when you don't have what you need, and especially in an economy where you can't get it in the place you're used to getting it. I mean, don't think for a single second that Home Depot and Lowe's and wherever else you got in your neighborhood there, Menards possibly, are going to be around because I don't think so. And so those are going to go away eventually. Whether you can get it on Amazon or not is debatable. So to kind of get back to the metals thing here, it's an issue. But what I would tell you, just to kind of put a close on this really quick video here, what I would tell you is you need to start kind of developing contacts in the metals industry. Where can you sell local? Jewelers are a good one. Ask them. Just go into a gold and silver shop if you got it, or just go into a jeweler and ask, hey, I have some silver here. Where would I. A lot of jewelers will buy because metal is metal. They will, but I'm not suggesting that the guy that sells diamond rings is going to be around either. But ask him if he has any contacts or whatever. And what you will find also, and this is my last and final closing thought, uh, I have a network of people that I trade metals with that they're not in the phone book. I mean, you're not going to find them on Google. They're just wealthy individuals that just have stuff. I know a guy who knows a guy, and that starts by coming in through the jewelers. That starts by coming in through the gold and metal shops because those people know those people because those are their clientele. So if you can kind of get yourself an in through the jewelers, go talk to 6 or 7 jewelers and like, hey, do you know anybody that's buying silver or gold or anything like that? And just pose the question, or where I can buy silver and gold at, and you'll find out who the buyers and sellers are real quick. So I would do that first of all. But to go back here one more time, I want you guys to all really seriously be thinking about if everything went to hell in a handbasket tomorrow, and let's just take crypto off the table. Let's forget gold and silver. Let's forget about cash. What could I trade right now to just get myself through the next day?